Hi there. So, I wanted to bring this topic today for you. And this topic is a very commonly thought of topic by leaders. So, why should you learn coaching skills if you're a leader of today? And how do you really do that the right way? So, coaching is a foundational skill for every manager and leader of today, right? Many of us are aware of it, many of us are not really aware of it. Now, those days of kings and queens are gone, right? Where the kings and queens would say, okay, I want you to do this, and so you need to do this, and that's it, right? But today, if the leader says that, it's not necessarily that everybody's going to just follow, right? So the lives have changed because the workforce has changed as well. The workforce thinks very differently than it used to centuries before. The workforce of today, unlike the industrial revolution times, thinks that everything is accessible, right? Everything is possible, and whether they have this job or the next one, even the third one, is possible, right? So why should they just listen to a leader and follow the orders? It doesn't work that way anymore, right? So basically, the leaders need to give them something little more than just the money and telling them to do certain things. They basically want more respect, more recognition, better mentoring, better guidance, someone out there to support them to grow to the next level. Feel a part of the community where they can really feel nourished and fulfilled and be able to reach their goals as they want, not just in profession, but also in their lives, right? You, on the other hand, would like that your teams are productive and they're able to get the results that you want for your teams and also for your organization. You're able to show your potential as a leader. You want to achieve all the targets. And in that whole bargain, you're always probably chasing them, getting things done. Now, if you're looking for a solution which can help your team members and you as well, the good news is coaching is that piece of the puzzle. You always probably be looking for this, and it's one very, very important piece which, if fits into your gamut of things, everything can change forever. According to Daniel Goleman, very well-known psychologist, said that there are 6 leadership styles. Coaching is one of them. It is, in fact, that important that it can impact the performance, it can impact the culture, the climate, also the bottom line of an organization. But the unfortunate news is that it is the least used leadership style. Why? Because most of the leaders think they don't have the time really to focus on educating people, helping them to grow. It's like too much of time and attention going there. Now, this is what he said about 15 years back, but it holds even more valuable today. Because you see, if you can build a coaching habit, you can, in fact, turn around a lot of things where you're getting stuck. Like most of the leaders do this big mistake of finding out things when they have already gone wrong. Like they don't really focus on prevention, they kind of focus on the cure, right? So that's the challenge. Now, if you embody the mindset of a coach, you can build in certain habits in your day-to-day work which can really make a huge difference. Now, why would you really want to build a coaching habit, and how will it really help you as a leader? So here's why it's worth the effort. The essence of coaching in helping others basically is to unlock their potential, right? What they can really achieve, you can help them to achieve that. And I'm sure that you have tried coaching before, or you've been exposed to coaching somewhere or the other, right? And maybe you've seen some sort of a difference, right? It basically lets you work less hard and have bigger impact. That's really the outcome that you want from coaching, and that's what ideally you should get from coaching. When you build a coaching as a habit, you can break out of the vicious circle of creating over dependence with your team on you, being overwhelmed, and also sometimes being disconnected with your team. So if you are actually coaching your teams, you can take care of these 3 challenges. I'll just go a little bit deeper into each of them. So when I say creating over dependence, what I really mean is that A lot of times when I speak to leaders, they say, my team is depending on me. If I'm not there, they're not really able to make decisions. They're not really able to go forward. So here's why it's worth the effort. The essence of coaching in helping others basically is to unlock their potential, right? What they can really achieve, you can help them to achieve that. And I'm sure that you have tried coaching before, or you've been exposed to coaching somewhere or the other, right? And maybe you've seen some sort of a difference, right? It basically lets you work less hard and have bigger impact. That's really the outcome that you want from coaching, and that's what ideally you should get from coaching. When you build a coaching as a habit, you can break out of the vicious circle of creating over dependence with your team on you, being overwhelmed, and also sometimes being disconnected with your team. So, if you are actually coaching your teams, you can take care of these three challenges. I'll just go a little bit deeper into each of them. So, when I say creating over dependence, what I really mean is that a lot of times when I speak to leaders, they say, my team is depending on me. If I'm not there, they're not really able to make decisions. They're not really able to go forward. So maybe what has really happened is that you have trained your teams to be dependent on you, right? The situation has turned out that now they're disempowered and they're frustrated and they just can't do it without you. It's also not a very great sign for you because you feel it's an unwelcome bonus where your team is always wanting your time and it's becoming a bottleneck. You're not able to move forward, and neither are you able to do things that you really want to do for yourself and for the organization. So there is a need to bring in help here, right? Building a coaching habit can actually help you to become more self sufficient. You can have a sense of, mastery. You can really feel that, your teams are motivated, and also it will reduce your need to jump in every time they are getting stuck, right? The second point is about getting overwhelmed, right? So many times when I'm talking to senior leaders, especially, they are like, they feel that, um, you know, there is a challenge because they feel that they're getting things done from people, but they are themselves overwhelmed. They feel that the more they dig, the faster things will happen. But in reality, what really happens is they set aside their priorities and they're distracted by loads of other things that are happening, like on a day-to-day basis. The email, the meetings after meetings, and at the end of the day, you really lose focus, right? You really lose focus as to what is really important, and you get overwhelmed by how you feel, right? And finally, it's a vicious circle again. The more overwhelmed you are, the more you lose focus as well. So if you have coaching habit, you can regain your focus. Your teams can do the work and it'll have real impact. So you can direct your time and energy and resources to solve the challenges that make a difference, right? Things which are really important for the business. Becoming disconnected, that's a third point, right? So finally, you may feel disconnected from the work that really matters. It's not just about getting things done, neither for you nor for your team members. It's really more about getting the work done that really is important, that really can change the bottom line, that really can bring your customers closer to you. So the more you do work which has no real purpose, the less engaged and motivated you are, and the less engaged and less motivated you are, are less likely to find any great work and create great work as well. Building coaching habits can really help you to connect with your team, to do the work that's important and meaningful for both of you. It can fuel the courage to step out of your comfort zone, become more, connected with your people, help them to learn from their experiences, and literally and like metaphorically increase and help fulfill their potential. So there is a small challenge here though. Like, having worked with so many leaders around the world, it also tells me that many times things don't go the way we want, right? Even though we all know that coaching is very useful, they still have a little challenge. So, what is that challenge? Challenge is that they are stretched for time. They're really going thin on time. And that is where they find it is difficult to take out that time to really coach. When people make coaching an everyday habit, they can actually create more focus, more courage, and more resilience. They can help more people. They can get more impact. That we all know. But even though you know all this, there is a still challenge, right? Because the time is limited. Maybe also that you've gone through coaching or you coach somebody and you haven't really seen much effect. You've seen probably some negative impact, in fact. In fact, I was talking to a leader the other day and he said that, I've been through 2, 3 sessions with a coach and uh, I just didn't feel it was helping. So when I asked him why, he said, she just asked me a lot of questions and we were just having a chit chat and nothing really came out of it. And he didn't really want to go into coaching again. Sometimes leaders also say that I have been through coaching and I feel even more confused than what I was earlier, right? So it all depends on, how you have been taught coaching, right? Sometimes people even say that, I only know a certain model and I keep working on that and I keep coaching my team members with that and I don't see anything happening, right? So what it really means is that your coaching has not been very effective and you have not been delivering an effective coaching to your coachees. Now, there could be 3 reasons for that. The first reason can be your coach training, right? So maybe it was too theoretical and not really on ground, maybe too complicated as well, or a little boring. And, you kind of went away from what it can really do for you in your real life. Like, how can it really impact you in your work? The second could be also that you felt that what you learned is not going to really make any difference on the ground. Like there's a huge difference between what you are learning and what is going to be utilized at work. So that could be the second one. The third one could also be that sometimes we feel simply asking questions is a very easy task, but if you're used to actually telling and not asking, it can take a long time, especially if you've seen results telling or mentoring, right? People, and you've been, kind of promoted for that or praised for that in the past, and you've actually seen some results from that. On the other hand, if you ask questions, you might find, oh God, it's so boring, it's taking time, and I don't even know if it's really effective, But in reality, it is empowering more than the earlier state where you were telling. So I have seen that, many times the managers or the leaders that we train on coaching skills, uh, when they really get down to working with us, they can start implementing exactly what we are learning into their real life. They can see the difference that it's bringing in their real work. You can coach in like 10 minutes. And it doesn't have to be in a boardroom or in a small little cabin. You can actually coach from anywhere, and also online. You can coach over a cup of coffee, anywhere, right? So coaching is not something which is formal and, it's like a coaching time that you need to take out to do it. It is actually an informal act and not really, like a very big task, right? It's something which should become a part of your life. Coaching just should be another style, a leadership style that should be incorporated in your style of leading people. So, are you ready to learn the coaching skills that will take your team and business to the next level while empowering your teams, motivating them on a consistent basis, and without really spending so much time in it, really, and creating effective outcomes for your coaches? So if this interests you, you can connect with us. We'll be happy to have a one-on-one chat with you and understand where you are and where you want to head. What are the reasons why you want to learn coaching and how we can support you. So we look forward to hearing from you soon, and we look forward to supporting you in your journey to become a great coach and a great leader. You take care. Bye.